Hey, it's Anthony with Land Title. I came to bring your update for Boulder County, and we've got a lot to talk about today, including the change between the detached market and the attached market and the rise in inventory. So we've got a couple of really big takeaways here. Now, the inventory level is rising across basically all markets here on the Front Range. Now, we had a little bit of an anomaly because of our dates, the way that it fell, because it looks like we're way behind under contract wise. But I believe we'll be completely caught up through February, so nothing to stress about there. But the active units up 23% and detached is quite a bit of rise. Now, if we go over to the attached market, it's almost a coin toss the other direction. We have 43% more inventory. We really truly are seeing that dip in under contracts much higher. And I actually think the average sales price year over year is lying to us a little bit here. So I'll kind of get into all of these things here in just a second. Let's kind of dive into detached and what does this active inventory change mean? Where is it taking place? And you're really seeing changes in Superior detached inventory. You're seeing it in Louisville right now, and you're seeing it in Erie right now. And these are big changes in inventory already. And this is one of the slowest months of the year for new listings coming on the market. So as you kind of see that change, we're really building. Now, in the attached market, we have major increases in inventory, right? Louisville is one thing because we've had all of this, post-fire rebuild stuff going on. We have 18 year to date, which is actually quite a bit. Usually we don't even see attached listings out there for Louisville, but that one's kind of the anomaly. So pull that aside, look at where we're seeing them. 45% increase year over year in Boulder, right? So city of Boulder, older stuff, condos, that kind of thing. They're the ones who are really starting to see an inventory rise. Month supply of inventory, 2.3 months of inventory. It's going to continue to rise in a rising inventory market. Expect this to get maybe even to 5 months by the middle of the year. So if you're taking listings, get them on early because that way your sellers have a better situation. And if you're a buyer, you could wait a little bit if you want to, but honestly, the environment we're in right now is very conducive to buyers because there's just not very many buyers out there. So you really don't need to wait. Now, the attached market, there might be deals to be had this year because we peaked middle of the year around 5.5 months of inventory. It really felt like a buyer's market. This year is going to be more extreme. We're starting the year with 50% more year over year. And so there's a lot of supply out there of active listings. Days in MLS, though, contrary to what we were seeing in the month supply, we are seeing turnover still in that 60-day range. Leading the pack is 75 days out in Louisville, but there's just been the surge of new listings. Most of the county is at 70 days, but Longmont down in the 50s. Now, what you're going to find, though, is the attached market is so different. Longmont has the highest days in MLS and attached at 93 days. And, kind of the standard for what we've been seeing countywide is 70, 80. So it is a lot longer to sell an attached product. And if you look by price point, detached luxury has been coming out of the gate pretty well. We've seen kind of the middle of the road where we've seen some of those drops a little bit. But as a whole, I think you're going to see a lot more activity in the detached market this year. It's kind of leading that way right now. The attached market, on the other hand, kind of across the board, we're just seeing a little bit of a slowdown. I mean, these are pretty light numbers, right? I mean, as a county as a whole, if each one of these price points represents 9 or 10 listings that have sold, it's just tough, right? There's 300,000 people that live in Boulder County, and when you have 10 sales between 6 and 800,000 in attached, there's just not a lot of buyers active. Now, what you can expect for month supply of inventory is for detached homes, you've got 1.5 to 2 months of inventory across most of the market, but it's going to start to really climb. You can really see that already taking place in the luxury market. In the last month, it's already risen by about 3 months. So get stuff on early, get stuff active if you think it's going to take a little bit of time to sell. If they're really buttoned up, like those ones at 2.5 to 3 million, they sold in 9 days. So there are buyers active. They are looking. They are willing to pay full price even, but they just have to be the right home, the right location. If not, 50 days, right? Or 60 days in MLS in order for that stuff to turn over across all price ranges. But if you get into the attached market, we're starting at 3 months of inventory. It's going to rise much more than that. As price points get higher, you have more inventory. And, as you get into our days on market there, we're already starting in the 70s for most of these. So it's just going to take a lot longer to sell. You got to set some proper expectations. We got to price aggressively in the attached market this year. If we look at sold units, you can see this. It's really been a little variable. Louisville is off to a crazy good start for the year, but it's because of all that excess inventory. Superior, same thing. Lots of inventory, lots of sales, shows the desirability for those markets. Most of the rest is pretty well flat. Now, if you look at the attached market, we're actually off to a pretty good start right now. We had a little bit of a slowdown last year this time. So keep that in mind that, every January is a little slow as far as sold units. But if you get into the average sales price, I wanted to give you some pointers on how to talk around, what's happening in the market, what are these different markets doing, right? So think about the Marshall fires, places that were affected the most. That's where we've seen the most increase in average sales price because we're just selling a different product. A lot of these have been rebuilt now. And as we're kind of getting into that, you can see that they've been rebuilt at a much higher price than what is existing. So Louisville, 10% more than it was this time last year or over the last 12 months. And then you can see it in Superior as well. If you look at the trailing 12 month for the city of Boulder, we are just buying a little bit cheaper homes. So I don't necessarily think that the average sales price is really dipping, but the luxury market might be dipping a little bit there. Longmont, Erie, Louisville, or Lafayette, not Louisville, but Lafayette, they were all kind of stable, very similar to this time a year ago. The attached market is where you're going to see some of the real depreciation, right? This is the first time in a while we've seen a market like this where it's just hard. There's a lot of inventory. There's not a lot of buyers. It's putting a lot of downward pressure. Boulder's feeling it, right? They're feeling 4% over the last year, deep decrease in price. Superior, 5%. These are hard markets. But look at somewhere like a Longmont or Erie or Lafayette. They are up 1%. So the attached market is not necessarily bad everywhere. It's just really challenging in certain places, but other places are doing okay. So don't necessarily steer away from attached, but it's definitely one of those that set proper expectations. You got to price aggressively. You can see the sold units were basically in line with where we were a year ago. That's a really good sign because we had a great December of under contracts. The attached market even outpaced that a little bit. You're going to see February fall a little bit short in both of these markets. Like I said, just due to kind of timing of the month and all that. Now, if we look at listed sale price is one of these things where we've been in such a stable environment for so long with low buyer activity. They're controlling all of the conditions. So at 97.7%, you really are starting to feel that change in the market where buyers control it. Now, we don't factor in our price drops or our price concessions here. So since you can't see that in the data, that's where you're seeing all the slack in the marketplace. So we're not in these extreme markets like 21 or 22. So hopefully that helps. If you have any other questions, concerns, or need any other data, I'm Anthony with Land Title. Hope to catch you next time.